Good morning, friends. Today, topic chosen is pilgrimage. We had a pilgrimage to Kailash. Many thought that perhaps I'm going to speak on Kailash, but I still postpone that to speak on some other day with slides. So we're still in preparation what slides we can present with to show. There have been so many photographs taken by so many people. So that we will announce it in the newsletter. It will be Kailash, pilgrimage to Kailash, so separately. Today is just about the pilgrimage. Just I thought let us talk about the pilgrimage. Not much this is taught, especially in the Vedanta or Jnana Yoga. Pilgrimage is not given that much importance. Shankaracharya even said, Kurute Ganga Sagara Gamanam Vrata Paripalanam Athava Dhanam. Jnana Vihina Sarvamanena Muktim Na Bhavati Janma Shatena. You want liberation, you want freedom, you want perfection, you have to have knowledge of the self. Without having self-knowledge, the liberation, the salvation, the perfection, the perfect freedom, the absolute fearlessness will not come even in 100 lives. However, you may do Ganga Sagara Gamanam. You may go to Ganga Sagar any times. Ganga Sagar is a pilgrimage. He denied that. That's not the thing. That will not give you ultimate liberation. Or, he says, Vrata Paripalanam, or do a lot of fasting. That also won't give you the ultimate knowledge, ultimate liberation. Athava dana, or you are a very charitable person, do for everything for others. So that also is insufficient to achieve the freedom. So what is needed? Jnana. Without jnana, freedom cannot be attained. So that is the stand of one who practices jnana yoga. They say that without jnana, nothing avails. You do fasting, you go to pilgrimage, you give in charity. Nothing will ultimately give you salvation. You have to have the knowledge of the self. For that alone will give you freedom. So, if that alone is considered to be Vedanta, Vedanta's standpoint is that. But Vedanta, luckily, is not only Jnana Yoga. Vedanta is Bhakti Yoga, Vedanta is Karma Yoga, Vedanta is Dhyana Yoga. All come under Vedanta. And Vedanta is meant to give us our recognition of who we are. And that we go through loving God or searching inside. It's same, we reach the same place. Or trying to steal the mind or doing service, unselfish service to the people. We'll reach the same place. So all together becomes Vedanta. So one of the Vedantic thing is pilgrimage. It's definitely a very helpful tool for in search of our spirit or search of God, whatever way you say it. So what is a pilgrimage? Pilgrimage is a journey, commonly a long journey, taken to holy places with a purpose. The purpose is to be closer to God. So you, as in vacation, you plan the tour, you pack the things, you buy the tickets, you go to the places, but purpose is very different. That will come. How this going on a tour or vacation is different from going on a pilgrimage. The very heart of the pilgrimage is the desire to be with God. It's very spiritual practice. To have stronger attachment to Him, trying to feel His presence, to have more intimate relation with Him. That is the purpose of pilgrimage. For most of us who have not yet learned to live every moment with God, the time we need in our life to disconnect our everyday duty and to connect with God. And one of the very important and very easy way is to go on a pilgrimage to the holy place where we feel the God is more perceptible there. in Hindu temple there is a saying, Jagrata, the temple is awakened, the God is awakened there. So we feel the presence of God there. Generally the term is like when you pray, God answers. We feel our prayer answered there, so that place they call that God is very vibrant and perceptible. But the term would mean where you feel the presence of God. Generally the prayers are worldly prayers. But what about the spiritual prayers? I want my spiritual growth. I want to get rid of my weakness. What about those prayers which are not often talked of, but where those prayers are also answered, that will be called the awakened God. What the pilgrimage does, pilgrimage feeds our soul. We gain something from pilgrimage. It's just not going and visiting and seeing. It's getting, receiving, having something positive. That is the purpose of pilgrimage. At pilgrimage, we are totally at the mercy of God. Generally we give, when you go to pilgrimage, mostly it's arduous, difficult places. In the Himalayas, the pilgrim places. If you go to the temples, Buddhist temples are at the very heights. Himalayan temples, what we do? Just now we heard about the Kedarnath in Himalayas, where a big accident happened, big flood. And those who survived, they talk about how much they were at the mercy of God. One of the survivors I spoke with said that I totally felt that I am at the mercy and I didn't feel anything that I am going to die or survive. Though I was disconnected for 5-6 years without any communication with the family, or any chance or any hope that I will be escorted. The path was all broken. It was all washed by the water. There was no way that we could walk down, or there is no way of any vehicle. So we had to be escorted, but no communication when the escort is coming. When we will be airlifted, only way was to be airlifted. But, she says, I was not afraid of anything. Totally surrendered to the will of God. And she says, I was at peace. I didn't think of anything about any relative, how will they feel, what will happen if I die. Nothing of death and life came. That is the purpose of pilgrimage. You totally give yourself to God. Become free. Total surrender is the freedom. We surrender our body, mind and soul in God's care. We become detached and soul is given to His care. We become detached from our mundane duties, the things that were so important even 2 days ago. Totally lose our concern. Total detachment from the world and attachment with the God is the purpose of pilgrimage. And going to the holy places really gives that sort of feeling. In the days of pilgrimage, we live completely for God. To know Him, to love Him, to serve Him. We can't get close enough to Him so easily by any other way. Pilgrimage, if it is done in this spirit and with utmost sincerity, completely has the power to completely transform the pilgrim. We get changed. Pilgrimage is like a deep meditation. It will transform the person. Those who went to the pilgrimage, those who return will be different person. That is the purpose. If the person is the same person went with same attachment to the world, same ego, same strong ego, same seeing hatred and anger and jealousy and greed, and comes back the same person, you don't find any change in that person. So pilgrimage was not successful. Maybe there was a little feeling that I am with God, but that feeling was very low intensity to transform the person. Pilgrimage, if done in a right spirit, should be able to transform the person in some degree. There has to be something that God comes into you more. Otherwise it's just travel. It's just going. It's just sightseeing. It's just going, I went to Kedarnath, I went to Bethlehem, I went to Mecca. And what you come back, the same person. no change. I asked one lady who had come from US, and I talked with her, and she seemed to be a very earnest seeker of God and lover of Sri Ramakrishna. I asked her, have you taken initiation? I think that will help you to grow faster, to have some mantra, to have some way to reach God. I felt that she should kneel. And she said, Swamiji, the desire for initiation or getting mantra is not in me. I don't think it is powerful enough to transform a person. I said, how do you say that? So many people have taken initiation and they say that it's a wonderful tool to transform. And without this, what my life would be, like that they say. And I'm saying totally different from you. What is the matter? Why do you say that it has no potency to change a person, transform a person? Oh, my mother-in-law, she took initiation long back for 30 years. And I find the person same, even after 30 years, the same person, no change at all. And she took initiation from your order. And she does japam every day, but it's same. So Swami, with that, why you ask me to do that? I'm not convinced at all. I had to keep mum. That are the cases, you see. Sri Ramakrishna says, it is like irrigating the field, but water doesn't stay. The crop doesn't grow. Next day you come and you see the field dry. So what happened? There were holes beneath on the ridges, on the places which hold water. And all the water would go away after being irrigated. So no water stayed there. So that happens with us. So when we do japam, our mind is not in God. Our mind is elsewhere as without when we are not doing japam. All in things of the world. And about thinking about the person. And thinking about the person in also the positive way. If we could think positive way, all good things, then it will be a good japam. Thinking the same, still in a vigorous way, because you are quiet, you want to concentrate, you concentrate on the defects of other persons. And defects are all your imagination, you know that. It's all projects of the defects of other person. And then you grow more hatred towards them. After doing japa, person is more hateful towards others. Because she concentrated or he concentrated for 1 hour doing Ram, 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 but that person is very bad. I will see that. Why did she see this? All this thing for 1 hour gone. More concentrated way. Person becoming more positive, become more negative. So that is always the danger if we do not in right spirit and without sincerity. So that person I was quiet. Like that is pilgrimage. We go there, and if we do not have the right spirit, then we just tend to be a visitor. Then we will tell where we have visited. We went to Panchakedar, we went to all 4 corners of India, all 4 holy places of Himalayas. And when you come back the same, Sri Ramakrishna says, you know, the water pot of a sannyasi. Sannyasi travels all holy places. And that water pot, he carries always that water pot made of bitter gold. And after visiting all the places, the quality of that water pot still remains bitter gold. The bitterness of that pot doesn't go away. So the Kamandalu remains Kamandalu, no transformation. Because there will be no attempt for that. Like that also may happen with the pilgrimage. But that's also rare case, but in most cases, if it is done sincerely, there is every chance that it will have positive effect on us, and it will help in our spiritual growth. Pilgrimage completely transforms the pilgrim if it is done sincerely. If it is done very intensely, it is really can transform. There have been reasons. There have been many spiritual transformations of the people in past. Our Sri Ramakrishna's father himself had the vision of Gadadhar. God himself in the dream comes to him. And the joy he wakes up with that. And the conversation he had with God. And that conversation fulfills his dream. Just see the dream in the holy place in Gaya it happened. So there have been many instances when people transform their life in the pilgrimage. Pilgrimage, it is an experience indescribable if it happens that way. You cannot just say, where you went? Oh, I went to Kailash. What did you see? I saw Kailash mountain, black, first day, white, second day, it was so nice. How much, what you can describe to other person? So, the experience that you have at the pilgrimage site is something you need to experience. It is indescribable. You cannot be very faithful in describing unless you are a very good, you can explain in a very good way, like a poet, like a Tagore or like a Shakespeare. Then you cannot really express it how you felt. You need to have that quality of expression to relate your feeling at the time. Pilgrimages are of three types. In fact, pilgrims are of three types. Sattvika, Rajasika and Tamasika. One is like a Tamasika pilgrim it goes to pilgrimage without much preparation, without much desire, and have very little capacity to change himself, but yet he or she goes to holy place and he is not well prepared mentally or physically, does all the rituals. Like you go to pilgrimage, you have the clean body, you take a bath or dip on a river or a pond, and wear clean clothes. All this give you the idea that you are going to a holy place, meet God, you are going to meet God. Dirty clothes, unclean, mentally not refreshed, tired, and goes, and what does that type of Tamasika pilgrim sees? He sees all dirty, people are not good, and they cheat, the pandal, they ask more money, and you see the filth there. All these things he is going. He is going to the temple, and what he sees is all filth, all negativity filled there. Goes inside, he sees all the crowd and pushing in the Hindu temples. We go see in India, especially the famous pilgrim centers, famous temples, are always, there will be always crowd. Somewhere you have to stand in a queue for 4 or 5 hours. Somewhere if there is no queue, there will be a lot of elbowing and going there. And this Tamasika pilgrim will see only this. And he will come disgusted. I went to Benares, no more to go. What happened in Benares? It was so dirty, crowded, filled, the ox moving, the bull they're free, and the people are just cheating, pandals are asking money, and inside they go all dirty, all not clean. Oh, never to go Benares. Nothing benefited. All the way went from Canada, bought ticket for so many dollars, spent so much money and time and vacation, all gone in vain. It was not a single joy. All dirty, all negative things. Another person goes, the Sattvika, he has desire to see what is the feeling. He tries to absorb the feeling of the people. He goes to Benares, what he sees? People early in the morning all take the name of Shiva. Some people are chanting Shiva Mahimna Stotram. People go regularly every day, 365 days a year, go and take a dip in Ganga early morning before sunrise, then take a full jar full of pot full of water, carry that to Shiva Vishwanath, offer there, and he finds the joy in the person, in the regularity in the person, every day he will do, and that person just feels what the tradition, and how long it is there? Immemorable time. It's thousands of years. We don't know how many thousands years, 4,000, 5,000, whenever the city was created, whenever the Vishwanath temple was there, Shiva is there, living, awakened Shiva there. Feels the presence of Shiva. And there are the things going on early in the morning. There are the people who are selling flowers and garlands and people chanting the name of God and doesn't mind anything. People, Pandada are asking him also money or her also money. He doesn't care. He has the thought about God, Shiva. He goes inside, feels the presence of great Lord, Mahadeva, and offers water, offers willow leaves, and filled with joy comes out, not seeing anything. Where is filth for him? Where is bullock for him? He might have been pushed by bullock, doesn't care. He doesn't have thought for bullock. Oh, it is Nandi. For him or her, it is the devotee of Shiva. So that is also not bad. That is also good. All filled with positive. Sattvika. Clean clothes, takes a dip, follows the ritual, offers, comes fulfilled. Comes back to Canada. Wow, Benares I like. Again I go back to Benares. There are those who are not Hindus even, liberal-minded want to know. But They are so positive, so welcome, they absorb the feeling of the people. Go on a boat ride in Benares early in the morning, just about sunrise. You find whole of cars, long stretch of Benares cars. People are taking dip early in the morning in cold water, braving everything. That is their ritual, and they find so much of joy in this regular taking a dip in the holy water. That thing, Sattvika person can absorb, try to feel the feeling of others. That is Sattvika. What will Rajasika? Another type of man. Rajasika person are low. They want to make a show, and they're better than, of course, Tamasika, but they're not average, they're Sattvika. They will have very expensive clothes, they have nicely shaved and done the things all over decoration. And then whatever decoration, man will shave and the woman will decorate, and then wear expensive things and buy big flowers and sweets, big garland to be offered, and go there. Do not have that much of devotion, but they think that I am meeting God, so I have to give God the big things and give big pranami there, so God is pleased. And the Pandas are also pleased. Who is who? They should know that this I am going from Canada, and people should know that who is there. Like that, this is the Rajasika type of devotee. Much better than Tamasika. He feels I am going to God. He or she wants to offer something, so God knows that, oh, some great devotee has come. And people also take care. And when such people go, naturally there are people, priests, who find, oh, this must be a rich person. So they will make a way. They want to have that attention of the priest, that I have to have a special corner to sit and worship. And the priest will chant mantra, I will listen. Like that thing are Rajasika. They don't fully absorb the benefit of pilgrimage, but still they go with a good thought. But to go to pilgrimage, there is always a preparation. If we want to go to pilgrimage and have full benefit of pilgrimage, we have some preparation. And there has been tradition, you see. Some traditions are made to make you fit to go to pilgrimage. There is big tradition of Sabarimalai. One pilgrim center is there, Sabarimalai in Kerala in India. So the people go there, and before going 40 days, they have to have very different lifestyle. They cannot sleep on bed, they have to sleep on ground. They will have to wear simple clothes, and they cannot cut their beard, will have to eat vegetarian simple food, and are supposed to think of God. All these rituals, in most cases, just helps us to concentrate on the purpose why I am doing. Some cases, as I said, people can't really benefit from all that, but in most cases it helps. So all this preparation for pilgrimage. So that is for that particular. After 40 days of such life living, then they wear the black clothes. There is a special dress code also to go there. Black clothes, climb the hill, and go and see there in thousands. It's not for one person. There is another ritual called Bol Bam. That is a tradition in Deoghar, which is one of the Jyotirlingas Shiva. People from Ganga bring Ganga water, and then carry that, walking barefoot, and then they have to bring on a particular day to Shiva temple in Deoghar in Baidyanath, they are now in Jharkhand in India, and they pour on Shiva. This is also in thousands, it's very crowded, and now from Deoghar it has come to all over. All over it has come in Bengal, in Tarakeshwar, and I went to Kailash this time, and I find when in Pashupatinath it has come. They say Bol Bam, and people are carrying from some river, and they not from Ganga all the way, but from some river nearby there, and offer there. So, like this is another preparation and ritual for pilgrimage. People happy. It is always a little difficult thing. And Other preparations are also like that. So if we have to go preparation, we may not be able to take that hardship of walking for 3 days, carrying water, or living a totally different lifestyle for 40 days. It may be difficult. So what we need to do if we go to pilgrimage at any place, we need to be mentally prepared. Prepared that I am going to meet God. I am going to a place where God is more manifest. And what is really a place of pilgrimage? Place of pilgrimage is generally the birthplace of great spiritual personality, like birth of Jesus, birth of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rama, Krishna, birth of all avatars like Sri Ramakrishna, Kamarpur, or you go to Bethlehem. So these are holy places because the great persons have been born, they have chosen this, God has chosen to take birth, to take the human form in this spot, so it becomes really holy. So you go there and you feel, you try to feel how it's different, and you try to feel the change in your mind. So what are the other places? Other places like Vishwanath, or the bank of rivers. Those are many holy places, like Ganga, bank of Ganga. Why they become holy? Some places become holy place. Birth of one saint called Gajanan Baba or Shirdi Sai Baba. Shirdi Sai Baba, of course, was a very spiritual person, great spiritual personality. So naturally, that's understood. But they say that Tirtha or place of pilgrimage becomes place of pilgrimage because the holy person visits there. Tirthi kurvanti tirthani. The Tirthi, those holy persons who visit there, they add to the holiness of that place. Why Vishwanath temple or your now this Tirupati temple, Venkateshwara temple, why this becomes so holy? Like Annapurna temple? Because many holy places visit there, they pray to God, they have the vision of God there, so all that holiness that they have gets accumulated and stored up there. Kedarnath, Badrinath, all are those places, Amarnath, where this all holiness has been accumulated. Tirthi kurvanti tirthani. The tirtha has been made by the pilgrims. Pilgrims go, not only the holy persons, those of devotees. They go with a pure heart, and all that feeling is added there. Thoughts, Swami Vivekananda says, is something that when it comes, it doesn't evaporate and is lost. It remains. It is something tangible. It affects the person who can receive that thought. That's what happens in the temples and the churches. We went to Kailash, and on the bank of Manas Sarovar, some of our devotees took a dip and they sat for meditation. Hardly 5 minutes, bus driver says, now we have to go another place, we have to go, otherwise it become evening. And they were calling, but they sat for 5 minutes, and after that they said, Swamiji, I never had such a nice meditation and peaceful atmosphere. So this is the Sthana Mahatmya, that is called the importance of the place. Why is it important? How Manas Sarovar become very important and so holy? Because of people visiting there with that thought, and that thought is caught by the person when we visit. And again we catch that and we leave of our thought. So gradually thousands of years people going. All those thoughts are accumulated. And in those places, if you sit for meditation, think something good, it automatically happens that way. That's why purpose of pilgrimage is to think of God and to be with Him. And that we can do generally by forgetting the world. The world and God seem to be separated, and for all practical purposes it happens that way. World gives us tension and worries and problems. And God, we know that it's a place of peace and a place of joy, and where all our problems will be resolved. So this distinction in this state of mind we still have. So we have to bring that God into us, that joy into us, so that when we interact with the world, that problems and anxieties and worries do not affect us. So we are, and then the world becomes God. That is the purpose. That's why we have to bring the feeling of the pilgrimage when we come and interact with the world. That is the change and transformation that we are talking about. When we have that sort of strong change there, strong feeling there, and we come to the world and we see a person whom we saw and we got angry or felt envious or something, we come now that enmity is gone. That hatred is gone, has become much lesser. We don't feel that bad towards that person because of a strong, positive and good thought that we had at pilgrimage. Successful pilgrimage this becomes. Even the great persons went for pilgrimage. Sri Ramakrishna, whom we consider God himself, who was always with God, for him where he had to go and serve God. He was always with God. But still he went to the pilgrimage and he goes to Benares. And what happens when these pure souls go? He sees Benares before he crosses the Ganga, and he sees that whole Benares is made of gold. Golden Benares. What does that mean? Did he actually see gold and glittering with yellow metal? That means he saw vibrant with the spirituality, with good thoughts, with holy thoughts. It's a wonderful place to go. Like that he says, Swarnamaya Benares, Kashi. And he goes there, and with him was a big retinue of the people. Before going there, he went to that Vaidyanath Dham, that Devakara was talking about, Bolbam, that taking the water and offering on the Shiva. That place he goes and he sees people very poor, unfed, uncared. So he says to the person who was taking him that you have to feed them. You have to give them blankets and some oil to take bath. He says, we are on a pilgrimage, long pilgrimage, we have to go to Benares, to Vrindavan, and you want to spend so much money here, and it's not one person, so many, whole village is poor. Sri Ramakrishna says, whole village you have to feed and give blanket. But where I have money, that's what I have brought. Where is something? If you cannot do that, I am not going any further. I sit here with these people. What this person can do now? He had gone all the way from Calcutta to Devgarh. It's an overnight journey that time. So he sends person back to Calcutta to bring blankets and other stuff, the food, to feed them. The pilgrimage is delayed, but still he had to do that. What Sri Ramakrishna did? He saw God in those persons. Those persons were our own self suffering so much, any pilgrimage will not help. What the pilgrimage do, I'd like to talk a little about that, what we should do when we go to pilgrimage. So Swami Vivekananda also, when he came from the West and went to another Shiva temple in Rameshwaram, what was being read in the reading, that where Holy Mother said, oh, it's as I had left, it's exactly like that. The sand Shiva Linga is there. They always keep it covered so that the sand doesn't go away, with a golden cover, and it's put in the casket. But when it was shown without cover to Holy Mother, and Holy Mother and her team were allowed to go inside. No, even persons are not allowed. We are not allowed to go inside. Women are never allowed to go inside. It was very exceptional case that Holy Mother was allowed. You know why? Because the temple belonged to Raja of Ramnath. And Raja of Ramnath was disciple of Swami Vivekananda. He sent a note, my Guru is coming. Parama Guru is coming, take her inside and show her the temple. And she bought Ganga water, brought from Gangotri with 1 rupee 12 anna. That was the rate of a small jar of Ganga water, brought from Gangotri. Somebody had brought. Panda gave, and that was offered to Shiva. And king said, after puja is done, open the treasury for her. Whatever she wants, don't ask. Whatever. Treasury was open, and they asked, Mother, the king has said, you please take something from here. So Mother said, now see what she will take. She didn't want anything. Now she was in trouble, but just to say, no, I don't want anything would be too rough, it will be too impolite to say that way. She said, actually, I don't want anything, but this niece, she may, if she wants something, she can take. So now she said that Radhu had gone with her. Now she is praying to Shiva, Shiva, please make Radhu ask nothing, please make Radhu ask. If she asks something, it will be bad. No? Somebody asking from the treasury. So Radhu, a small girl, she said, oh, I lost my wood pencil, can you give me that? Mother was so happy. Oh, she didn't ask any treasury, any gold or precious gem or anything. She wants a pencil. So that was a nice incident. So Swami Vivekananda came to this temple. The Raja again, after coming from the west, he brought him to the temple and made him talk something after Swamiji said. And Swamiji said there, the worship of Shiva is not complete just by offering water and flower and willow leaf to Shiva. It is a part of the worship. But if we neglect the poor, the underprivileged, then it will not be, worship is not clear. So taking care of the poor, the underprivileged, the destitute, that is the real worship of Shiva. What his Guru did in Vaidyanath, another Shiva place, a holy place, he speaks that to the whole listeners, whole audience, that should be there. And this speech of faith in the temple, that only coming to the temple is not the completion of pilgrimage. You have to take care of the people of the society who need your help. That is written and inscribed on the wall of the temple, Swami Vivekananda's lecture. Holy Mother went to, Sri Ramakrishna then went to Kashi, and what happened as he was living with Mathur Babu, rich man, and there are some rich persons he meets, and then he starts talking about the land, about the money, and Sri Ramakrishna started hearing this. Then he started crying and praying to Mother, Mother, where did you bring me? I was so happy there. Now coming to this holy place, they are talking all about worldly things. Here the people in pilgrimage are supposed to give up worldly connection and think of God alone. And here they are talking, and he started crying. Take me back, Mother. That happens. They say, all the evil things, all the sin that you accrue in other places, go to the holy place, Benares, all your sins are washed away. And they caution, if you commit any sin there, mental or physical, in Benares, where are you going to absorb that? So, in the place of pilgrimage, we have to be very careful that no evil thought comes in us. If that comes, it is very difficult to remove. So that may become permanent. So we have to be very pure-hearted when you go to pilgrimage. Those are the preparation for pilgrimage. In Vrindavan, we know how Sri Ramakrishna could see Krishna coming. Sometimes he didn't see Krishna coming and felt that, oh, these cowherd boys are coming with the cows, but where are you, Krishna? He started crying that way. Sometimes he felt that way. He liked Vrindavan very much. Holy Mother also went to many pilgrimage places, Vrindavan, Kashi and South India, everywhere she went. And as it is said, Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani, wherever this holy person visit, that becomes a place of pilgrimage. Holy Mother, after Rameswaram, came to Chennai, and from Chennai she went to Bangalore. So Bangalore, we had the ashram already. In the ashram, Holy Mother gave initiation to the people, and she was worshipped by many, she was conversed by many people, came and spoke in Kannada about their problems, and Holy Mother doesn't know anything of Kannada, and the people don't know Bengali, so how do they converse? So as Shankaracharya said, Maunam te vyakhyatam, they speak in silence, and all the doubts of the disciple is gone. So it is said in the Dakshinamurti Stotram by Shankaracharya. So like that, they spoke something, but not understood, but they felt when they went, their problems are solved. They felt more peace. And what I wanted to say, Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani, how the holy person make the Tirtha. Holy Mother was asked by one monk there to visit a small, like Mon. There was a little higher place there, like a, not hillock, just a higher stone there. In the ashram itself. Said, Mother, can you just go there? Mother took few steps and went at the top of that big stone and sat there for meditation. And that place is today the place of pilgrimage. People go to Bangalore ashram to visit that. Sri Ramakrishna temple is okay. But that place becomes more important because Holy Mother came, visited, sat and meditated there. They feel the presence of Holy Mother in Bangalore ashram. Swami Brahmanandaji also was very fond of pilgrimage. He had various experience in pilgrimage. One place he goes in Vrindavan, at night he was sleeping. Someone pushes him. Oh, it's early morning, Brahma Muhurta, are you still sleeping? He had meditation at late at night. So Japam until late night, so he was sleeping. Then he turns his back and again sleeps. Again that one pushes. Who is there? He says, nobody is there. No, he had locked the room. He says, one ghost is pushing and saying, get up and do Japam. He gets up and he finds there are many ghosts who had mala in their hand and doing Japam. We think about the ghosts, all will be evil souls. But there are so many good souls that have become ghosts and they are doing Japam all the way and around him. He sees that. He sees with his eyes. So there is wonderful reason to prove that there are good spirits also, and there are bad spirits. And at one place, what happened, he had gone to Tirtha, he was meditating on the bank of Ganga, and it was a little cold. One person came, saw a monk meditating, and he might have felt that it's not ordinary monk. So he wanted to give something, so he brought one blanket and gives him, puts it in front of him. He saw somebody give the blanket. He was still in deep contemplation. After some time, a few minutes, he finds somebody came and he saw a blanket lying there, person meditating there. He just lifts the blanket and goes away. Swami Kripamayananda was untouched by anything. He didn't say, oh, where are you taking? It was given by me to that devotee, nothing. So like that, equanimity in receiving and in being given away, being taken away rather, that sort of feeling, all that he had in his pilgrimage time, when he was in pilgrimage. Now how the pilgrimage is different from vacation. So in vacation we go to see things, but pilgrims go to receive something, like greater devotion, closer relation to God. Is totally different. In pilgrimage, there is total self-denial and discomfort are involved, because if you go to difficult places like Kedar, Badri, like Kailas, you won't have proper things there, and you are prepared to have that experience. And it's good that you live like a common man, and you have little physical discomfort there. Always it's like austerity, that's what it's called, little physical discomfort. And in places like Kailash, it's always high altitude, breathing trouble, walking trouble, and there are so much real physical difficulties, plus the absence of or infrastructure there. But when you go for vacation, you all say which is 5-star hotel, which is 4-star hotel, how can you go easily? You go there, from there you go by bank, lock a little on a sand beach, go to a warm place when it's winter here. So like this, all it is like seeing and enjoying. It is more of facing little trouble, difficulty, but getting rich inwardly. A pilgrim finds the mystery of God, discovers His mercy and love. That always happens. When difficult places, then you feel how much you are taken care of. Pilgrimage is undertaken for spiritual purpose with spiritual aim. And vacation is for relaxation, getting away from your everyday duty. It is very important, vacation is also in life. But pilgrims gives you greater satisfaction from the vacation. Pilgrimage remains with you forever. Vacation is just forgotten. You have to see again photograph, oh, where I had been like that after 5 years. Because you forget, it has no impression on your mind. Pilgrimage, even if you had done after 30 years, 40 years, you will tell to grandchildren, oh, I had gone to Kedar. It was such a wonderful experience. I felt God vibrant there. I had to walk 14 kilometers. Oh, my pain was like everything you remember of pilgrimage. That is so profound and deep experience. The mindset is established prior to departure, since a wish which might be 20 or 30 years before. You want to go to some difficult pilgrimage, like I want to go to Amarnath, and the person is waiting for 20 years, 30 years, for lifelong. Sister Nivedita writes in her book on the journey to Amarnath that people cherish to visit Amarnath when they were young. They have now become old, difficult to go, but still they will go because their lifelong desire to visit the holy place. We went to Kailash. With us was a group, a person who had waited 30 years, cherished desire to Kailash. So it's a long drawn desire and it's a great fulfillment. And without that strong desire to go to such difficult pilgrimages is not easy. And Sri Ramakrishna says, that before that, the success of pilgrimage is not the souvenirs, number of souvenirs brought back, nor the number of photographs taken, or the number of shrines and temples seen, but the transformation taken place inside the pilgrim. Now Sri Ramakrishna says, going to the pilgrimage you come and you forget that. Neither you could absorb, nor you could transform, nor you remember. So that is not the purpose of pilgrimage. You must remember the experience of a pilgrimage. He gives the example, chewing the cud. As the cow eats a lot and then regenerates and then chews, so you should remember your experience there. For that purpose, maybe there are some customs of giving and giving up in the pilgrimage. When they go to some pilgrimage, they say, I give some fruit. Give up some fruit. Like I used to like mango, you have to give up something that you like, not that you don't like. So some person doesn't like bitter gourd vegetable. I give up bitter gourd. You don't like, that doesn't make any sense. You have to give up the thing that you used to like. I like among the fruits, what is your most favorite? I like mango most. So you say, from this day, it is offered to you, I will not eat mango. What is that? You offer to God, that is the prasad. Why you have to take that? The purpose of giving up something is, whenever you see mango, you say, no, I can't eat. Because you had wished to eat, no, you like that. But after that you can't eat. Why you can't eat? Immediately remember, why I can't eat? Because I had given up this when I was in Badrinath. You remember everything of Badrinath. You get mentally connected. Mental pilgrimage happens. Pilgrimage is not only a thing that is done once a year. Just Jews were asked in Torah to go to Jerusalem 3 times a year. Why God wanted such a difficult thing to do? It was not easy to go to Jerusalem. For those Jews might be living there itself, but in Israel or around in Palestine. But 3 times going, walking all the way, and it's not easy. Why did God make that? They will take trouble, they will come to be, not for God, but for the people. Some like there is lifetime pilgrimage, like visiting Makkah in Hajj, once in lifetime you do, done. You go to Ganga Sagar, they say once in lifetime, Sab Tirth Bar Bar, Ganga Sagar Ek Bar, that is saying. You have to visit many pilgrim places, central holy places again and again, but visit Ganga Sagar once in life. That should be sufficient. Because it is tough to go. Kailas or Amarnath or Kedar, these are all other places, very difficult to go. And once you go, you are fulfilled. There are some pilgrim places like that. But pilgrimage is not the thing that we do only once in life to one place, but always, as the purpose of pilgrimage is getting connected to God. So if we mentally get connected to God, is pilgrimage. In that way, coming to the temple is a pilgrimage because you get connected with God. Even you're sitting for upasana or your daily regular meditation, spiritual practice, is a pilgrimage. You want to be with God. Connection, pilgrimage help us to connect with God. So anyway we get connected with God, it is pilgrimage. And the custom of giving, as Swami Vivekananda said, give to the people. That is also there in all pilgrimage places. There is something that you give. When I went to Bethlehem, there was people would come from all over the world, from South America, even from India. Many Christians had come. They were singing, they were crying to see the place of where Jesus, the Lord of their heart, was born. And that was so much catching the thing. You feel so happy to see the feeling of other people. And there is a star made where the rock where Jesus was born, and they are allowed to put a whole round hole on the slab above that rock, and put your hand, and touch the very rock where Jesus was born. Just think about the feeling that you have. 2,000 years ago, that great person was born, the God himself was born in man, and you can feel and touch the place, the rock where he was born. And there is another side, there is the manger where after that he was laid down. So these are the places you never forget in life. Once you do, it always remains with you. Whenever you remember, you are already there. I am in Bethlehem now, and I talk about Bethlehem. I can feel the touch of that stone where Jesus was born, or I can feel the place where he was crucified, or the temple in Nazareth where he lived. So, like those places, it just comes before our eyes because the impact of pilgrimage is very strong. It's not like other places where you go to visit. It's because it enriches and it's a connection of our soul with the Supreme Soul.